Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are discuss about two important type of classification related to biology. First one is two kingdom classification and second one is five kingdom classification. First we are moving to two kingdom classification. This system of classification is proposed by Linnaeus. Linnaeus is commonly known as father of taxonomy and is also known as prince of botanists. He classified these organisms into two on the basis of presence or absence of cell wall. First one is plants and second one is animals. He classified the organism into two, plants and animals. Biological world is classified into two groups, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia or kingdom animals. The plants, if there is a presence of cell wall, so the organisms which have cell wall, all of them are belongs to this kingdom or group plants, and the organisms that does not have cell wall, they are belongs to the second group animals. In this type of classification, Linnaeus considered the major character or taken as the major character for the classification is the presence or absence of cell wall. That is two kingdom classification. All organisms are classified into two, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia or kingdom animals. In this case of two kingdom classification, there is some limitations is there. So now we are moving to next two portions, that is limitations of two kingdom classification. First one is fungi is a group of organisms, but in this case of two kingdom classification, fungi is not placed in any kingdom. The fungi is a group of organisms that have similarities with the plants as well as animals. The absence of chlorophyll and the heterotrophic mode are the animal characters, and at the same time they show some plant characters also. There is a presence of cell wall and holophytic mode of nutrition, and the fungi are immobile. So these are some of the plant characters that shown by fungi group of organisms, or organisms belongs to fungi. So this type of classification, the fungi which is not placed in kingdom Plantae or kingdom Animalia, this is the first one. The fungi which is not properly placed in any group, that is the first limitations of two kingdom classification. Then second limitations is at the lower level. In this world there is no plants and animals. There is some microscopic organisms is also living in this ecosystem or in this world or in this earth. So at the lower level of organism, there is no distinction between plants and animals. In this case, so prokaryotic organisms or some microorganisms, they are not belongs to plants and animals. That is the second limitations. Then third limitations is that Linnaeus proposed two kingdom classification. All prokaryotic organisms are under the kingdom Plantae, but latest electron microscopic studies revealed that prokaryotes and virus, they have no relation with the kingdom plants. That is one of the recent studies that show there is no relationship between plants and microscopic organisms. So that is another limitation. In this case of two kingdom classification, all the microscopic prokaryotic organisms and microorganisms, all of them are placed in the kingdom Plantae, but it is not correct. Then fourth limitation is that lichens is not properly placed in any group or any kingdom. We know lichens is a group of organisms, or there is a symbiotic association between algae and fungus. So in this case of two kingdom classifications, there is no, lichens is not properly placed in kingdom plants or kingdom Animalia. These are the some of the important limitations in this two kingdom classification. Okay, that's all about two kingdom classification. Now, so five kingdom classification, it is a well known and a well accepted type of plant classification, that is five kingdom classification. This type of classification or five kingdom classification is proposed by Robert Whittaker in 1969. He classified all the organisms are into five kingdom on the basis of complexity of the cell structure. Then second character he considered for the classification complexity of the body of the organisms, then mode of nutrition. These are the three main characters he considered for the classification of organism: complexity of the cell structure, complexity of the organisms of the body, then mode of nutrition. On the basis of these characters, he classified all the organisms into five major kingdoms: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Fungi, then last kingdom Animalia. These are the major five kingdom. This is five kingdom classification. Okay. Now we are moving to important characteristic features of each kingdom. First one is kingdom Monera. Kingdom Monera is the lowest group of organisms. Okay, it includes all the prokaryotic organisms are belongs to this kingdom Monera, like bacteria, blue-green algae, all of them are belongs to this kingdom Monera. We know what is prokaryotic organisms. It is a group of organisms which does not have a true nucleus. That is prokaryotic organism. All the prokaryotic organisms are belongs to this kingdom Monera. The important characters are they are unicellular. That means they are made up of bodies made with a single cell, that is unicellular. Then peptidoglycan, that is peptidoglycan is a cell wall. That means this unicellular, the cell which is made with the help of a particular substance, that is called peptidoglycan. So there's a peptidoglycan cell wall is there. That is the second characters of kingdom Monera. Then third one is there is no well-defined nucleus is completely absent. Okay, well-defined nucleus is completely absent. This nucleus is called nucleoid. Then next kingdom, Protista. These are single cell eukaryotic organisms. Okay, it's a group of first eukaryotic group of organisms. The Protista, it is considered as a connecting link between prokaryotic organisms with multicellular organism. In the case of kingdom Monera, there is all the organisms are prokaryotic. In the case of Protista, there is a starting point of eukaryotic unicellular organisms. So this Protista, which is considered as the connecting link between multicellular organisms with the prokaryotic organism. Most of the members are aquatic. They may be freshwater habitat or maybe marine water organisms. The cell wall present, it is made with the cellulose. Cellulose is this material that it is used for making cell wall. Whereas in this case of Monera, there is a peptidoglycan is used. The chromatic material is covered with a well-defined nuclear membrane and membrane-bounded organelles like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, plastids, etc. are present. They show autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. These are the main important characteristic features of kingdom Protista. Then next kingdom is kingdom Plantae. It is more advanced than the kingdom Protista. It is a multicellular eukaryotic organisms. Most important character is the presence of a photosynthetic pigments, that is chlorophyll is present inside of this kingdom Plantae. So they are autotrophic, that means they can able to synthesize their own food. That process is called photosynthesis. Most of the plants are terrestrial and some of them are seen in aquatic habitat. The next character, they are immobility of the plants. They are immobile. In the case of animals, they are motile. So in the kingdom Plantae, they are immobile due to the rigid cell wall which are made with which make the cell is inelastic. The plant cells, it is inelastic. So the plants they cannot be moved from they cannot be moved. The immobility is due to the presence of a rigid cell wall in the plant cell. The plants, we are already discussed, the plants are photosynthetic due to the presence of a particular pigment, chlorophyll pigments is there. Some of the plants, there's some specialities there in the case of kingdom plant. Some of them are insectivorous plants. They grow in nitrogen deficient soil. That are the main important characteristic features of kingdom plant. Then next kingdom is kingdom fungi. Fungi are the eukaryotic multicellular organisms. Then second point is body is composed of large number of small fiber-like or finger-like structure that is called hyphae. This hyphae, that means number of hyphae which are joined together to form a mycelium. The plant body which is made up of hyphae, this hyphae which are joined together to form a complex structure that is called mycelium. Then another important character that separate from the kingdom plantae, the kingdom fungi, there is an absence of chlorophyll, so they are not photosynthetic. Then they show saprophytic mode of nutrition. Then the fungal cell wall, which is made with a particular material that is called chitins. Then this fungi, the group of fungi, they form symbiotic association with algae. Such organisms are called lichens. Lichens are the symbiotic association between algae and fungi. The kingdom fungi, they have various positive and negative uses. Some of the fungi, they are used for the medicinal purpose, beverages purposes. Some other important uses is there. So in the same other hand, they have some negative uses is also there. Most of these members belongs to this kingdom fungi. They are poisonous material. They can able to cause death of the organism very few minutes or few seconds. Amanita muscaria is one of the most important poisonous mushrooms which are present. They are also known as a toadstool. They can induce death within few seconds. So there's a positive and negative uses is there in the kingdom fungi. Then kingdom animalia, it is the last and advanced kingdom. They are multicellular eukaryotic organisms. Another important character, they lack cell wall, so they can able to move. We know all the animal organisms, or the members that belongs to the kingdom animalia, they can able to move from one place to another, because due to the absence of cell wall. In the case of animal cell, there is absence of cell wall, so they can able to move from one place to another. Whereas in this case of plant cell, the cell wall, each cell is made with a outer boundary that is called cell wall. The cell wall will make the cell is more rigid, so cell cannot be moved from one place to another. So the important point is that the kingdom animalia, the cell wall is absent in the animal cells. Then another important point considered, plant animalia, they are non-photosynthetic organisms, so the mode of nutrition is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. The injective nutrition and digestion, we know that all the organisms, they are consume food, and after consuming, their digestion process will be take place inside of this organism, inside of the body of the organisms. Then next point is that there's a high level of tissue differentiation. We can see that in the case of human beings or any other animals, we can say well differentiated tissues is there. Each and every tissues, they have particular functions, so there is a division of slavery we can see. These are the another important, there's a well defined tissue specification or tissue organization is there. Then each of the animal members of this kingdom animalia, they have a well developed muscular system that will help for the movement, and it is absent in plant cells. These are the important characteristic features. They are considered animalia. That is 5 kingdom classification. I think, or I hope all of you understand this 5 kingdom classifications and members or kingdoms and their specialities. Video tutorial. Please subscribe my channel and share with your friends. Thank you very much.